Welcome to Mobile Rolling. We continue on the amazing journey of the life of the Superman of the Sulky, Max Evans. We'll be back after the break to take that matter further. Welcome back to Mobile Rolling, and it's my pleasure to have on my left Max Evans. How are you, Max?
Good, mate. Good. Very glad to see you again.
That's good, Max, and I'm sure with the feedback we've had from the previous editions that I'm sure today will be another action-packed Max Evans story. So I think where we left off last time, you had just sort of done your apprenticeship in inverted commas, where you'd travelled the globe as far as Whyalla, Port Augusta, Mount Gambier, Port Pirie, Kadina, Broken Hill, Nyre, Horsham, everywhere. So you then got to the stage of basically transitioning over to a senior licence or an A-grade licence. What was the horse that sort of pushed you into the limelight? You're obviously still driving at Wayville then?
No, I wasn't driving at Wayville up to our last show.
Yep.
I drove. I think every Victorian, on my country licence, every Victorian
track in the
right,
vicinity.
and all around South Australia. I was lucky enough, it was pure luck, I tell you. Had driven a lot of winners, but the horse that set me up for the Wayville start, Kevin Dempsey had an owner, an open miner. He bought a young horse, Royal Set. And he won.
Kevin. Where was he? He was still training out of
Ottawa.
Out of Ottawa at that time.
And when I first got to Wayville, he won 12. First year I got to Wayville, he won 12 races in one season, become the horse of the year. That put me and Kevin on the map.
So you drove him in all those 12?
Oh, yep.
Okay. So I suppose that would have also helped Kay Dempsey become the trainer that he ended up getting some nice horses. So in that period, was he always trained at Ottawa, or did he transition after Royal Set, or what did he do?
Well, after Royal Set, he was lucky enough to get finance off this owner of this Royal Set to purchase a big property at Two Wells, and he put his own track down. That's how he got there.
And that sort of became the norm for all of the big trainers, didn't it?
Yeah.
So you had Royal Set. What were some others that and how old were you at that stage, Max?
About 35.
Okay, so you would have been in the prime then.
Yeah.
What other horses?
I was an old age vintage. I got in my prime later.
Exactly. So what sort of horses? Royal Set, you said he sort of put you on the map where people then started giving you a drive.
Bob Hammond's father had a very nice 3-year-old, a very good beginner. We won a lot of races with that. There was another horse, Legal Deed. I forget the horses, but he had only had about 4 horses.
Who was this?
At Ottawa. At Ottawa.
Oh, this is Kevin, yeah.
But all that time, Kevin learned off Albie Holborn, and I'd learned off Albie. I was driving heaps of winners for Albie Holborn around everywhere, but Kevin said, you could be my driver. So I moved over to him. But this was after I'd been driving the country, maybe 18 months. So from that day, Kevin and I were business partners. Mm-hmm. He was the good trainer, he was a horseman, and I was the business partner. Mm-hmm. And he didn't question me, and I didn't question him. And, you know, this is the truth. It's truth. People wouldn't believe this. If Kevin Dempsey had a horse in a race, it was 100 to 1. I would drive it. I wouldn't get off and drive a shorty.
Okay. They were very loyal.
We were very loyal.
Obviously you couldn't survive just driving Kevin's 4 horses. So what else did you drive? Because in your prime and your career, you're always known as a freelance driver and weren't really hooked up to a stable. So at that stage, you were still driving some for Albie, still driving some for
Albie.
Kevin. Who else were you driving for?
I had it's a funny thing. I told you the Whyalla story. Well, there was some bloke down there, he became my manager. I don't know, he was a make-believe manager, right? But he was getting me plenty of drive. I had 6 horses of Holbertons there, he'd get me the other 2. And I was driving a Pirie, and he was my manager. I might have a full book of Pirie in Port Augusta. And I had a mate out of my athletic days who worked for Telstra, and he lived in Horsham, and he had a very good horse, and a couple of youngsters. He only had 2 good stables. And this horse, Fairview Derby, he kept winning at Horsham, right into the fast class. And this man wouldn't travel anywhere else. It's amazing. So by coming there, I used to go,
So you drove Fairview Derby, did you?
Fairview Derby all the time. And he'd get me other drives. He's like an agent in Horsham. Yeah. And I had another mate in Stawell.
I think that still happens today. I mean, for argument's sake, if Wayne Hill's going to go to Broken Hill, they'll say, well, W Hill's coming up.
That's right.
And they'll look at the noms and they go, well, there's another 5 races. We can't leave him sitting on the sideline, so he'll get a full book. So it's probably been happening for 50 or 60 years.
That's right. Well, I had a lot of friends around Australia, and they were like all my agents. They were friends.
Okay. How long after this did, say, Nevada Smoke come along? How long into Kevin's shift out to
after we left there? So Nevada Smoke, he was bred 1970, wasn't he?
Yeah, around
70. I would think we'd only been out there maybe 18 months. And we had a very good 2-year-old trying to make very, very good horse. He would have been as good as Nevada Smoke, but he had contracted heels. So we had him in a race at Globe Derby. I remember I did Barrier 1, and we were going to put a bit of money on him, and then got the whisper that Nevada Smoke was the champion, and Lloydie Webster was driving it. So we didn't bet, but we still did our best, right? So
he was Australian too, wasn't he?
Nevada Smoke was.
No,
John Mack wasn't. No. So John Mack led easy. In the Wavell days, I rated myself. Lloydie was not a very nice bloke and had a big opinion of himself. He thought he was going to bolt in, right? So coming around the home corner, and Nevada Smoke's banging his knee and hanging, and China Mac won. So I got off, I said to Kevin, we should buy Nevada Smoke. And that's when we got George Sotiris and John Rufus to pay $8,000 for Nevada Smoke.
So he was, Jimmy Post owned him, did he bred him?
Yeah, no, but Jimmy Post bred him. Yeah. Someone else was leasing him, I don't know.
Was Jimmy still over the West Coast at that stage, or he shifted to Two Wells?
No, he was at Two Wells.
He was at Two Wells. Okay, so everybody knows Nevada Smoke ended up winning what, 50 races?
60 races.
60 races, right? How many of those did you drive him in?
Every one bar when I was rubbed out.
Suspended, yeah.
Yeah, suspended.
So I do remember when he got beaten at
Murray Bridge. It was. You think of it?
Oh, there was Victor Harbour.
Was Murray Bridge 10-1 on?
Yeah, Bronze Honey beat him.
Yeah, that's right. And that was around a grass track, and I don't know whether I might have a lapse of memory. I don't know. Or maybe the little horse didn't like racing on the grass. I don't know. It was just a different setup. Yeah, but he got beat at 10-1 on. I tell you.
So I thought he was always a nice gaited horse, but if he was going his knee, what was the issue there? It was just the way he was, or the way he was
that's how he was as a youngster with the bloke who had him before we bought him. He was always Johnny Russell was Kevin Dempsey's blacksmith, and he had got him right. That's actually Johnny Russell's photo up there on the Smoke there. He'd got him pretty right on his knee, but Smokey was a real little stallion. He was a little shifty little bugger, and in the middle of his career, he decided not to try. I'll tell you about it as a 5-year-old. But then, when he became a 7-year-old, he flashed back into high five.
So he was a brilliant 3-year-old, as we know.
He was the best 3-year-old in Australia, no doubt. He was the best 4-year-old in Australia, no doubt. No doubt at all. I can tell you all these 4-year-old. He won. Nevada Smoke, Kevin was a funny trainer. I don't know what made him do what he does. He was the most travelled trainer in Australia. He'd get horses ready. He wouldn't race them here. We'd go over to Yarra Valley or Shepparton or somewhere. I don't know why he did it. I think he liked travelling.
So Nevada Smoke, would he rate the best horse you'd driven?
Oh, he... it's a hard thing to say. Of course, he was my favourite horse. He made me. Raw set first, and Nevada Smoke made me. Good horses make good drivers. So he made me. As to be the best horse I'd driven, I had a drive on Don't Retreat. I drove Glamour Chief for Rex Robinson a couple of times. And I drove a horse of...
Well, both those horses were into Dominion, and Nevada Smoke did compete in them, but he wasn't certainly...
Now, I was going to tell you the story. I tell you, Nevada Smoke was a 2-year-old, had 3 starts. He got beat when we beat him at China Mac. We won the next 2. Then he went out. As a 3-year-old, he'd won 10 starts when we took him to the Valley for the Victorian Derby. He was going to win by 20 yards. I locked wheels and just coming in the home straight. He should have won by 20 yards. He runs second to Alpha Light, right? Mm-hmm. We went, next start, we went to the New South Wales Derby. And you know the rigmarole. We had to get behind the mobile and qualify and all that baloney. In the heat, I'd never driven in Sydney. I'd heard all the corruption, but I didn't believe it because I was sort of smarter than them, which I was a fool. They done me up, made an idiot of me, honest. So I only qualified to get on the second row. So I said to Bill Whittaker, the old bloke who used to write that stories in Sydney, I said, those bastards, they've done me up. I said, I'll fix them right up next week. Well, we drew at the second row, inside the second row. Well, within a furlong and a half, I was off the fence, out and 3 wide going, because I knew I could see Don't Retreat sitting 1 out, 1 back, and I knew Don't Retreat was a set sprint horse, and Cyril Caffin was driving him. So early in the race, which is suicide, I raced straight up, bang, and I sat just neck behind. If he didn't come out, he was going to stop there and I'd have gone to the front. So he had to come. I wanted a car. So he went to the front and I sat outside him and blitzed him. Just much better than him, yeah.
So what other horses did you train, did you drive that other than him and the other? I mean, you drove so many. I mean, did you drive any Derby winners here in South Australia?
No, Nevada Smoke never raced.
No, yourself, not Nevada Smoke.
No, I never.
Never drove it.
No, I used to drive interstate more. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
So, what's the best win you've had interstate? Well, you drove single again in the consolation.
That's later on.
Right, yeah. We're just sort of going through all that stage.
We'll go in 4-year-old, a 3-year-old went to Derby. We went to New South Wales, right? Nevada Smoke became a very popular horse with the public here in South Australian public owned Nevada Smoke. It's like a football team, right? When we went to the Kilmore Cup as a 4-year-old, we won a quali on the Saturday night at the showgrounds, and on the Monday we were in the Kilmore Cup off 10 metres. Well, Ansett booked a flight for the Kilmore Cup, and it was fully booked flight. So all these South Australians went there, right? Nevada Smoke started off 10, a real high quality field, and he blitzed them. We backed him 7-2 to 7-4. He blitzed them. At that stage, he was the best 4-year-old in Australia, no doubt about that. And when we went to Naya one night, I'll never forget, the Naya Cup, and I was sitting 1 out, 1 back, and he was going to bolt in. And we went going in the back straight, which Naya is not a very big track, and he jumped. He could jump shadows, Smokey. He jumped and went back to last at the back straight. And I was out 3 wide, and I said, way
it goes.
And he went 3 wide around the lot and got up dead
Still
even. Fast time. No, he only dead it. It was fast time though. Yeah, it was an amazing run. I think that's his best.
So he went everywhere, didn't he? And everyone sort of loved him. So.
He drove every main track in Victoria. He won. Ballarat. He made fools of him at Ballarat. Sat in the death seat in fast classes. Bendigo.
So then he went to the stud and had
no. Now that's as a 4-year-old. Now we'll talk about it as a 5-year-old. Right. I had high hopes. He looked like being a Grand Circuit horse. Now, here's the truth. Nevada Smoke was never a Grand Circuit horse after he was 4. He could not compete with good horses like Pure Steel.
Hondo Grattan.
He wouldn't. We went to Clyburn champion 4 times. He hated going the wrong way. We might have won a race at Albion Park. We won at Gold Coast. When we took him to Perth, he didn't go any good, and I was disappointed. So he's never. Nevada Smoke wasn't a champion. As a true, he was a well-mannered horse, but he wasn't a true Grand Circuit horse, and that's the truth. Everybody might think he was, but he wasn't.
Oh well, look, if you're brutally honest, the best two horses out of South Australia in the last 10 years out of doubt have been Come On Frank and my horse Major Crocker. Now Major Crocker's won $1 million, and he wasn't a Grand Circuit horse, and Come On Frank was the same as Nevada Smoke, loved by everyone, won a lot of races, won a Group 1. Always placed well, driven well, but at the end of the day, you couldn't say he was a genuine Grand Circuit horse. And Nevada Smoke was probably in the same. And that's the trouble is at the moment in Australian harness racing, there's no depth of horses for that.
And the Nevada Smoke and myself were so publicised. We're in the paper nearly every day because we used to have a very good coverage as they trotting. So he was the public's horse. Everyone loved him, but he wasn't a true champion. And Dempsey, but you're very upset when he sees him.
No,
he loved him.
But like I said, the other two horses that we've mentioned,
they're better.
Are probably better horses.
What about Pure Steel? Pure Steel. Over a mile and a half, Pure Steel could give me 20 yards start and beat me. There you are.
Yeah, but he could probably give that to most horses. So, well, look, I think we're sort of wrapping up on the Nevada Smoke era.
Oh, there's one other story I'd like to tell everyone because 1976 into Dominion final, right? I was up 10 metres. Carclew drew 1. Carclew was 100 to 1. I'd assessed the race, it was all over. Pure Steel was a 1-2 favourite. And when we lobbed, I lobbed 1 out, 3 back, and Pure Steel was inside me, right? Carclew got away with murderous, unbelievable. Young Chris Lewis drove the Wavell style drive and went to the front, slowed it up and run over last in, I don't know, 58 and a half.
Time.
Yeah, and they only run 2.7 for the journey.
2.5 they went.
2.56, all right. Yeah. But that's unbelievable for that fast class, even over 13.
Yeah, but if you analyse just quickly, you have a look at the Tiger Tara, when he won the Inter-Dominion in Melbourne, McCarthy's drive on him was nothing short of outstanding. He just outdrove all the other horses drivers, and that horse won like a good horse, but he was aided by probably the best drive I've seen in Inter-Dominion the last 10 years.
Right. We've got to give credit to young Chris Lewis, only a kid. Understand?
And that's what he did.
He went straight to the front. Was a brilliant drive. And he's carried it on. He's had a career. He's a top driver in Perth.
Has been ever since they left.
And that was an outstanding drive. Yeah.
Now, Max, what we're going to do is we're going to wind her up because we'll get in trouble with the chief. So what we'll do is we'll wind her up and we'll come back next time for maybe some stories about some of the Max Evans little antidotes that, as long as our solicitors can handle what
that's
you're saying.
Right.
And
well, you'll get the truth. You'll get the truth.
We'll see you for the next part of Max Evans, the Superman of the Sulky.
And I'm very glad to see you.
Thanks, mate.